You drink a big glass of water, and somehow, 5 minutes later, your mouth still feels dry, or your throat still feels scratchy. That is the frustrating part. You did the obvious thing, and your body did not get the memo. Here is the twist. Thirst is not just a water problem. It is a signal that can come from salt balance, blood sugar swings, breathing patterns, medications, and even the way your mouth makes saliva. So you can be drinking plenty and still feel thirsty. Because the missing piece is not volume, it's regulation. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a simple mental checklist. Not a diagnosis, just the most common, most practical reasons thirst can linger, plus what tends to help in each case. And I want you to notice something as we go. The goal is not to chug more. The goal is to make the water you already drink actually count, by matching it to what your body is really asking for. Moving to slide 2. First checkpoint. Are you actually replacing electrolytes, especially sodium? A lot of people hear sodium and think it is automatically bad. But sodium is one of the main minerals that helps your body hold onto water in the right places. If you drink a lot of plain water while you are sweating, or after a long workout, or even after a hot day, you can dilute sodium a bit. Then your body may respond by pushing water out through urine, while thirst still hangs around. This is why some people feel like water goes straight through them. Frequent clear urination, plus lingering thirst, can be a clue that you are not retaining fluid well. What might help? For many people, it is as simple as pairing water with a salty food at a meal, or choosing mineral water that naturally contains sodium and other minerals. If you are exercising heavily, an electrolyte drink without excessive sugar can make sense. If you have blood pressure or kidney issues, sodium targets are personal. So think of this as a prompt to ask the right question. Moving to slide 3. Second checkpoint. Your mouth can feel thirsty even when your body is not truly dehydrated. That sensation is often dryness, not thirst. And dryness is about saliva. If saliva production drops, your mouth feels sticky, your tongue feels rough, and you start chasing the feeling with more water. The problem is, water can rinse the mouth, but it does not always fix the saliva issue. Common causes: breathing through your mouth, sleeping with your mouth open, dry indoor air, and a long list of medications that reduce saliva. Antihistamines are a classic example. Some antidepressants, some blood pressure meds, and many others can do it too. What might help? First, notice if the dryness is worse at night or in the morning. That points to mouth breathing and dry air. A humidifier, nasal breathing strategies, and sugar-free gum or lozenges can stimulate saliva. Also, sipping water more slowly can work better than big gulps. If dry mouth is persistent, dental checkups matter. Low saliva can raise cavity risk, so it is not just annoying. Moving to slide 4. Third checkpoint. Blood sugar swings can drive thirst, even if you are drinking. When blood glucose runs high, your kidneys pull more water into the urine to help clear the extra glucose. That means you can feel thirsty and also pee more. Some people describe it as unquenchable thirst. And it can happen not only with diabetes, but also with big spikes from very sugary meals, especially if you are sensitive to them. A simple pattern to watch for is thirst that shows up with fatigue, blurry focus, or a strong craving for sweet foods. Not proof of anything, just a pattern. What might help? Start with the basics. Pair carbs with protein, fiber, and healthy fats to slow the rise. Consider reducing liquid sugar because it hits fast. And if you notice thirst plus frequent urination that persists for days, that is a good reason to get a blood sugar check. Water helps, but if glucose is the driver, water is more like mopping the floor while the faucet is still running. Moving to slide 5. Fourth checkpoint. Caffeine and other mild diuretics can confuse the picture. Caffeine is not the villain people think it is. If you drink coffee or tea regularly, your body adapts, and the fluid still counts. But caffeine can increase urine output a bit, especially at higher doses, or if you are not used to it. So you might drink a large coffee, then drink water, and still feel like you're constantly chasing hydration. Also, some pre-workout formulas and energy drinks combine caffeine with other ingredients that can make you sweat more or feel drier. And some people simply forget that coffee replaces what could have been a glass of water. What might help? If you suspect this is your pattern, try a simple ratio for a week. For every caffeinated drink, add a glass of water and see if thirst settles. Another option is to move caffeine earlier in the day, because poor sleep can increase perceived thirst and cravings. And if you are using caffeine to push through fatigue, that is a separate signal worth listening to. Moving to slide 6, fifth checkpoint. You might be losing water faster than you realize. Sweating is obvious during exercise, but it is also easy to miss in daily life. Warm rooms, heavy clothing, long walks, yard work, or commuting in heat. Even if you do not feel drenched, you can lose meaningful fluid. Breathing is another hidden loss. In cold or very dry air, each breath carries moisture out. If you talk a lot for work, or you breathe fast from stress, that loss adds up. What might help? Think in terms of timing, not just total ounces. If you sweat, drink during and after, not only at night. And include some electrolytes if the sweat is heavy. Also, check your environment. A very dry room can make you feel thirsty even if your body water is fine. A practical cue is urine color, but do not obsess. Pale yellow is often a reasonable target. Completely clear all day can mean you are overdoing plain water for your needs. Moving to slide 7. 6th checkpoint. Your water might be missing minerals, or it might taste so flat that you do not drink it in a useful way. This sounds minor, but it matters. Some filtered waters remove most minerals. That is not automatically bad. But for some people, very low mineral water feels less satisfying. They drink more, but the thirst sensation does not resolve as well. Minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium contribute to fluid balance and nerve signaling, and taste is part of behavior. If water tastes dull, you might take big random gulps instead of steady intake. What might help? Try rotating in mineral water, or add a small pinch of electrolyte powder, especially after sweating. Another simple option is to make water more drinkable without sugar. A slice of citrus, a few cucumber pieces, or a splash of unsweetened herbal infusion can change the experience enough that you sip more consistently. If you are already getting plenty of minerals from food, the effect may be subtle. But if you are on a very low salt diet, or you sweat a lot. Moving to slide 8. 7th checkpoint. Your gut can be part of the story. If you have diarrhea, frequent loose stools, or chronic digestive issues, you can lose water and electrolytes faster than you replace them. Even mild ongoing issues can create a background level of dehydration that feels like constant thirst. But there is another angle. Some people drink a lot of water with meals to calm reflux or stomach discomfort. That can temporarily dilute stomach contents and change digestion. It may relieve symptoms for a moment, but it can also leave you feeling bloated, then thirsty again later. What might help? If digestion is the driver, focus on steady fluids between meals, not huge amounts during. If you are actively losing fluids, oral rehydration style drinks, meaning water plus the right amount of sodium and glucose, can work better than plain water. The balance matters. If you have ongoing diarrhea, vomiting, blood in stool, or significant weight loss, that is not a hydration hack situation. Moving to slide 9. 8th checkpoint. Breathing patterns and stress can create a fake thirst signal. When you are stressed, you often breathe faster and higher in the chest. More air moving in and out dries the mouth. Stress also shifts hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which can change how your body handles fluids and how strongly you notice sensations. There is also a behavioral loop. You feel tense, you feel dry, you sip water, you swallow more. That swallowing can actually make you more aware of your throat, so the sensation stays in the spotlight. What might help? Try separating mouth dryness from true thirst. If your lips and tongue feel dry, but you have been drinking, and your urine is pale yellow, consider a different tool. Slow nasal breathing for a couple minutes, a humidifier, sugar-free gum. Even rinsing your mouth and spitting can relieve dryness without overloading your stomach. This is not saying thirst is in your head. It is saying your nervous system can amplify it. And once you see that, moving to slide 10, ninth checkpoint. Too much water too fast can keep you feeling thirsty. That sounds backwards, but it is common. When you chug a lot at once, your stomach stretches, your blood volume shifts, and your kidneys may respond by dumping the excess. So you pee, and the cycle continues. Meanwhile, your mouth and throat might still feel dry because the sensation is local, not a full-body hydration emergency. This is why athletes often do better with steady sipping plus electrolytes instead of massive water hits. What might help? Try a pacing rule. Drink a moderate amount, then wait. Give your body 15 to 20 minutes to register the change. If you are thirsty again, sip more. If you are constantly urinating after big chugs, experiment with smaller amounts more often. Also, check your salt intake if you are drinking huge volumes. If you are low on sodium and you keep adding plain water, you can feel washed out. If you ever have confusion, severe headache, or nausea after extreme water intake. Moving to slide 11. 10th checkpoint. Certain foods can make you feel thirsty for reasons that are not dehydration. Very salty foods, yes. But also very spicy foods, very dry foods, and high-protein meals without enough fluid. Spicy food can irritate the mouth and throat, creating that burning dryness that feels like thirst. Dry crackers or bread can soak up saliva. And with higher protein, your body needs water for processing nitrogen waste, so your baseline fluid needs can rise. What might help? Match your drinking to the meal. If you eat salty or spicy food, pair it with water and some potassium-rich foods like leafy greens, beans, or yogurt if you tolerate it. If you eat high protein, spread water through the day instead of trying to fix it at dinner. Also, watch the ultra-processed pattern. Some packaged foods combine salt, sugar, and additives that can keep you reaching for more fluids without feeling satisfied. This is one of the easiest experiments. Keep everything the same, change the meal composition for 2 days. Moving to slide 12. 11th checkpoint. Medications and health conditions can drive thirst directly. Some medications cause dry mouth. Others change kidney handling of water and salts. Diuretics are an obvious one, but there are many others. And some conditions increase thirst by changing hormones that regulate fluid balance. So here is a practical approach. If thirst started around the same time as a new medication, a dose change, or a new supplement routine, that timeline matters. Do not stop anything on your own. Just log it. Also, look for companion signals: swelling in the legs, sudden weight changes, dizziness, or very dark urine. Those are not things to ignore. What might help? Bring a clear description to a clinician. How long it has been happening, how much you drink, how often you urinate, any dry mouth, any nighttime waking to drink. That level of detail speeds up the conversation. For day-to-day comfort, you can still use the basics we covered, like pacing water and supporting saliva. But if the driver is medical, the fix is not more water. Moving to slide 13. Now let's turn all of this into a quick, practical sequence you can actually use. Step 1. Confirm it is not just mouth dryness. If your mouth feels dry, try saliva support first. Gum, lozenges, humidifier, nasal breathing, and slower sipping. Step 2. Check timing. Are you thirsty after sweating, heat, or long activity? If yes, add electrolytes or mineral water, not just more plain water. Step 3. Check the bathroom pattern. If you are urinating constantly, and it is very clear, consider whether you are over-chugging or under-salting for your activity level. If you are urinating a lot and still very thirsty, especially with fatigue, consider blood sugar as a possible driver and get it checked. Step 4. Check the inputs: caffeine dose, salty or spicy meals, and any new medications. And Step 5. If thirst is persistent for weeks, wakes you at night repeatedly, or comes with red flags like dizziness, confusion, or unexplained weight change, treat it as a medical question. This is how you stop guessing and start narrowing it down. Moving to slide 14. Let's close this out with a realistic expectation. Most lingering thirst is not mysterious. It is usually one of a few patterns: dry mouth, electrolyte mismatch, sugar-driven urination, or just pacing. So here is your practical takeaway. If you drink water and still feel thirsty, do not automatically drink double. First, slow down, then test one variable at a time for a few days. Switch to mineral water. Add electrolytes after sweating. Reduce liquid sugar. Move caffeine earlier. Support saliva at night. One change. Then observe. If you want a quick self-check, rate your thirst most days from 1 to 10 and note what you ate and drank. Patterns show up fast when you track them lightly. If this was helpful, subscribe for more clear, evidence-informed explanations that you can actually use. And for a comment, I want a forced choice. When you feel unusually thirsty, which is more true for you? A. Dry mouth and throat. Or B. Frequent urination. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Health span first. Lifespan follows.